Well, 2020 is over and it's time for a new start. Now you may be wondering, what's up with this albino armadillo character appearing in this video? Well, due to some circumstances that happened last year, around March after my Doom Eternal review, I kinda lost my studio. Also setting up the green screen and lights every single time to make a video only to record for a few minutes and then break it down and put it away because I can't leave it up. It was just way too much work for not that much payoff. So I thought it'd be easier to do this. If Game Theory and Saberspark can get away with it, why not me? But if that didn't answer your question, why this avatar? Well, one, I suck at drawing humans. I'm terrible at it. I always have been and probably always will be. And I've accepted this as my artistic limitation, along with hands. Two, I've made the joke that I'm pretty much a furry but trying not to be weird about it. And three, have you seen my body of work? How often do I review games with animal characters? Pretty much every single chance I get. So with that out of the way, we're going to take a look at the games that I reviewed last year. Now, I didn't really touch on any bad games. In fact, most of them were pretty good, so it's going to be from games that I was disappointed with to the best one. At number 9, we have Temtem, which is pretty much a Pokemon ripoff, but a ripoff that put a lot of love and care into making it. In my review, I said that it had a solid foundation for a collect and battle MMO, more so than anything what Nintendo, Game Freak, or the Pokemon Company have ever done. But I have some issues with it. One thing that put me off is that Humble Bundle, where I bought it through, kind of hid the fact that it was an early access title, by saying that it was early access on the bottom of its store page, way below the purchase button. While if you were to buy it on Steam, it would have it right above the purchase button. So Humble Bundle's website can be misleading. Secondly, the interface is kind of clunky, which makes navigating through it annoying, and lastly, the game's difficulty is unforgiving. There are so many other Temtem NPC trainers, and you cannot avoid them, only serving to drain your resources, reward very little money, and buying restoration items costs way too much. I found myself having to run back to a Temtem center to heal my monsters after only a single battle with another trainer. And this game pulls a massive dick move by having you go through a gauntlet of trainers, then forces you into a battle with a guy with a massively overpowered Temtem just before you get to a Temtem center. Then there's a dungeon with trainers that accuse you of being this game's Team Rocket, so you have to fight them, along with whatever this game's version of Team Rocket is, and then their boss at the end of it, and this is all before you even see the first gym leader. Even the first Pokemon game didn't pull that nonsense that early into it. At number 8, we have Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. The premise sounds really cool. An open-world Dragon Ball Z RPG. It's got a really good fighting system, although the AI can be really cheap sometimes. But the most disappointing thing is that it's the same story we've seen 100 times already. How many times are we going to have to go through the Saiyan saga, the Frieza saga, the Android and Cell sagas, and whatever comes after it? I really enjoyed 2019's Dragon Ball Fighterz. It was an original story and didn't retread the same thing we've seen before. After I finished the Saiyan saga, I stopped playing it because I knew where it was going. And the interface for powering up your character with medals or stickers or something, I don't remember or care. It's really clunky, and while it can help with battle, it's so badly designed that I would dread having to use it. With number 7, we have Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, a very interesting take on the Battle Royale genre, where instead of trying to eliminate other players, you compete with or work with other players in a game show-like obstacle course. It's a game that I play for short bursts, mostly because I would always get the same mini-games all the time, so I would get bored and shut it off. The game is fun with its rubbery, bouncy physics, and the beans are cute with the noises that they make, and how you can customize them. I would have put this game one spot higher if it wasn't just a fad game, because after this blew up on Twitch, everyone switched to Among Us, and it's sad that some really good games just become fads. At number 6 is Animal Crossing New Horizons, which is the first Animal Crossing game that I've ever really played. I played New Leaf for maybe an hour, but really not after that. It's a fun little community simulator. But once you get your island to look the way you want it and the villagers you want, there's really nothing to do other than general maintenance. Sure, there's updates to the game, and for holidays too, but it's all the same fetch quests of getting some items and giving them to the holiday mascot. I used to play it every day, but now check in once a week, and will probably be checking less and less until there's some big update that makes me want to play it more. At the number 5 spot, we have Shantae and the 7 Sirens. I didn't like this game as much as I did Half Genie Hero. I prefer that game's structure of going from level to level instead of this game's Metroidvania style. Also, some of the music incorporated is quite a bit of 8-bit styled music to emulate the Game Boy, which didn't really sit well with me. Although the anime cutscenes added to this game were really nice, and I think they were done by Studio Trigger. If it had the Half Genie Hero style of level progression, I probably would have liked this game a lot more. Number 4 is Doom Eternal, and this is one of those times where it pains me to put it on this spot. It feels like it should be higher, but sadly, I don't think I can bump it up to the number 3 spot. Doom 2016 was a fun, action-packed game where you can ignore the story around you and just keep killing demons, and ammo and health pickups were plentiful. But Doom Eternal slows you down a bit, and actually feels like it punishes you for trying to go fast. It's the Marauder demon that really put the nail in the coffin for this game to me. So much so that I actually deducted 1 whole point from it because of that one enemy. Now I know there's some video showing him being stun locked, but that one I think looks more like an exploit than anything else, something that wasn't intended. And his shield should not be able to deflect a BFG 9000 blast. It's the BFG 9000. You do not do that to an iconic weapon. And the next game on this list comes with a rather big asterisk and may be considered controversial, especially considering that Doom Eternal is number 4 and the state of the game this game came out in, but number 3 is Cyberpunk 2077. And like I said, the big asterisk is PC version only. That is the version I reviewed, that is the version my review is based on, and that is the version that is taking this spot. If you have the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One version, this will not help you in any way whatsoever and will probably sting like salt on an open wound. The reason why it's this high on the list is because I never bought into the hype, and because I didn't even know this game's existence until much later in its development cycle, because there was another game I was very much waiting for. But I got what I paid for, a fun, open-world, cyberpunk-themed first-person RPG. Sure, I ran into some bugs that required reloading the game, or saw some pretty funny things that happened in the game caused by it not being as refined as it is. And also, if you bought the PC version and are complaining about the state of it, I really hope you never praise, or in the past have praised, a Bethesda game, because it would be really hypocritical. I've put 72 hours into this game at time of writing, and I still play it as I really enjoy getting everything that I can. Because almost everything feels like it has a story, which is really rewarding to see play out. Number 2 is Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. Crash really needed a new game. We really needed a new Crash game. He's been through the ringer like Sonic, where we had some really good games when he started, some games that were well received but didn't age that well, games that were not well received, and so on. Crash 4 gives you a lot to do, but it can get repetitive if you're going for 100% completion. But going through it was a really fun and challenging journey. The mask power-ups are interesting to use, and some are more fun than others. But if you're looking for a classic Crash Bandicoot game, this is it, and I thought it was worth every penny. And finally, number 1, Final Fantasy VII Remake. There's nothing more I can say about this game that I didn't say in my review. The combat is excellent, the graphics are great, the story and voice acting is fun, the visuals are amazing. Everything about this game is perfect for a 40-hour-long remake of just the first 5 or 6 hours of the first disc of the original PS1 game. I had so much fun with this game, and the story hinting at an alternate path in history, remaking the Final Fantasy timeline, has me salivating for the next game in the lineup to see where they're going to take it. And that's all the games from 2020 that I played. While I didn't touch on anything bad, I was disappointed with a few titles. But hopefully this year has some stellar games, although looking at release dates, I don't think there's much on my docket right now. I am hoping for Biomutant. That looks like it's going to be fun.